Chief from JTech and welcome to another JTech video. It's finally here guys, the Galaxy S22, the Galaxy S22 Ultra and the other two S22 phones dropped last Wednesday, and I'm gonna give my very first impressions about these phones. Let's start with the Galaxy S22 Ultra, and this was the icebreaker. This was the big noisemaker of last week's launch. The Galaxy Note is back guys. The S22 Ultra finally integrated S Pen usage inside the phone. Unlike last year where we had to get a special case in order to hold the S Pen peripheral, S Pen is inside the Galaxy S22 Ultra this time. And there is so much going for this phone. It comes with a brand new dynamic AMOLED LTPO display that has a very low refresh rate, going from as low as 1 Hz whenever you're viewing static images like photos or reading articles, to as high as 120 Hz. And this is for something much more dynamic like gaming, watching movies, and scrolling through social media or the internet. Now, let's get it back to the cameras. The cameras have slightly improved from last year, especially when it comes to night mode photography. Samsung has introduced night mode binning, which means that there'll be a lot more information whenever it comes to taking low light pictures that will be binned. I'd love to see some samples. I've seen a few samples on Twitter, but because of Twitter compression, you really can't tell how well these photos look, especially in low light. Samsung have also added stabilization to the super zoom, 100 times zoom capabilities. They've added much more stabilization so that it works well alongside the AI capabilities in either the brand new Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor or the Exynos 2200 chip, which I'll get into in a second. S Pen is finally integrated into the Galaxy S phones, and it has brought new improvements, low latency, and AI, which will be able to predict where the pen will land in order to add more accuracy. And I honestly cannot wait to play with S Pen on the S22 Ultra. So fingers crossed that these devices will be in soon enough for me to do a quick hands-on video in store. And if you want to see that, make sure you let me know in the comment section down below. So I'll estimate that the Galaxy S22 Ultra at cost in Zambian Kwacha will probably be shy of 30,000 Kwacha. I feel like this phone will be 29,000 Kwacha or 28,500 Kwacha, depending on which variant you get. There's obviously going to be the base 256GB variant, and there's the 512GB variant, which is going to cost a lot. I don't know if the terabyte version will be available in many Zambian stores, because that one will more likely than most go into 31,000 Kwacha territory, which is insane for me to say. But this is what we currently get. I'm sure we'll get the 256GB variant and the 512GB variant in stores. So that's the Galaxy S22 Ultra. And if we were waiting for a hands-on quick review, let me know in the comment section down below. Now let's get to the other two phones that were announced last week, which is the S22 and the S22 Plus. And I'll start with the S22 because I'm a compact phone guy, so we're just going to break this down into the things I liked and the things I didn't like. The things I liked about this phone is, or both of these phones, were the symmetry of the bezels. They look so much more thin, and finally, Samsung has gotten rid of the chin on these phones, and it just looks so beautiful. The camera bump has slightly deviated from what we got last year with the S21 and S21 Plus, but it looks pretty much similar from behind. Especially if you recently got the S21 FE, there'll be a bit of similarity. But where the S21 FE and the S22 differ is the build quality. Glass is finally back after a 2-year absence on a lower end Galaxy S phone. And so this could be a really good thing or a bad thing depending on how careless you are with your phone. But it doesn't matter if you slap a case on it, whether it's glass or plastic. 9 times out of 10 people will buy a case to protect their investment. The bad thing that I hate about the regular Galaxy S22, however, is the build quality and the squared off iPhone style finish, which it bothers me, but this is where the industry was always going to go once Apple decided to introduce the iPhone 4/iPhone 5 square backed design. No 3D curved edges like we get on the Ultra. So that's going to be very interesting. Another thing that I don't like about the S22 is the battery life. It's been cut down to 3,700 milliamp hours, which in this day and age kind of sounds really criminal. I was hoping Samsung would probably bundle this with a 4,000 milliamp hour battery and maybe the bigger S22 Plus gets a 4,200 milliamp hour battery, but 3,700 milliamp hours in 2022, it sounds really, really criminal when you see even Samsung themselves producing phones that have 5,000 milliamp hours or 6,000 milliamp hour of battery life, but 3,700 milliamp hours, I don't know. I'm kind of not really sold on that. Another thing I didn't like about both of these phones is the fact that there are two variants in terms of RAM, which is in terms of memory, which is an 8GB version and the 12GB version. I don't know why they needed to make an 8GB version. Of course, they want to make it as cheap as possible and to get it in as many hands as possible. But just sell the regular 12GB version and maybe save that for the Ultra. You throw in maybe a 16GB RAM version. I don't know. An 8GB RAM version. It doesn't make sense to see why these phones needed that. But that's just my 2 cents when it comes to why I didn't prefer both of these phones compared to the Ultra. But other than that, I will assume price-wise in Zambia, this phone is going to cost about 25,000 kwacha. The base version might cost 25,000 kwacha, and the higher RAM/storage versions will probably max out at 27,000 kwacha. Zambian mobile phone pricing has been all over the place in the last few years, so I will definitely see how much this costs in stores, in different stores around the country, or should I say around Lusaka City. So I'll let you know which will be the best version of the S22 you should get. The lesser versions of the S22 phones have brought slight improvement. They've brought some of the camera technologies. They both will come with Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor. For us in Zambia, we're getting the Exynos 2200 processor, which I've heard a lot of interesting things about when it comes to benchmark tests, performance, and thermals. I will leave links in the description down below if you want to see some videos touching on benchmarks and performance of the Exynos processor. These two phones are very interesting. If you're a fan of compact phones, you might be disappointed with the size of the Galaxy S22. It comes with a 6.1-inch AMOLED display, which is not compact by any stretch of the means. It's not sub 6 inches like what you'd get on an iPhone or even older Galaxy S phones starting from the S9 to maybe the S10. But if you are comfortable with leaping to that size, then this is not going to be too much of a problem. The S22 Plus comes at a 6.4-inch display, which is much more fitting to the current mobile phone standards, and I'm sure that is pretty much the size that most people will go for. Most people will probably go for the S22 Plus and the S22 Ultra because they're larger screen phones, but for people like me who are a fan of compact phones, I'm a little bit disappointed that we don't get a reasonably sized Galaxy S phone this year. But I will hopefully, in the hands-on, I will do a fit test to see whether or not it can be operable with one hand, and let you guys know whether or not you should go out and get a smaller Galaxy S phone, especially if you're a fan of compact phones. So that's pretty much the end of this video, guys. I could not cover everything in this video on a spec-by-spec basis because that would take a long time. These were just first impressions and price speculation videos for when the phones will land in the country, if they haven't landed in Zambia already. So I would like to hear your thoughts on last week's Galaxy Unpacked launch. Samsung also announced the Galaxy Tab S8, the S8 Lite, and the S8 Plus. So I only won't talk much on that video. I'll leave links to last week's event in case you didn't catch it. I'll leave the links in the description right below the like button. So yeah, thank you guys once again for watching this video. What do you think about the Galaxy S22 phones this year? Are you excited that S Pen is finally embedded into a Galaxy S phone? Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. And if you don't want to miss out on any upload, hit the bell button. It's been Jay from JTech. Talk to you guys next time.